What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who follow me on Instagram or social media know that a few weeks ago Alex and myself got into a car accident. Alex is the car, the orange Honda Accord. Pretty much going to be going over with you exactly what happened. We're going to talk about the car accident. I've never been in one quite like this or anything like this before. I've never hit another car. It's always been like a guardrail or something, and I had to deal with that, stupid stuff, little things. But somebody hit me, and I was not at fault or anything, which is surprising, because I figured it didn't matter what happened. I figured the moment that they see this car, they're gonna immediately think I was out there, screwing around, trying to hoon, just messing around, but I really was just driving. I know the car looks like I drive like a crazy person all the time, but I guess putting some age on me and enough speeding tickets will calm you down. So over the past few years, I haven't, gotten pulled over for anything related to me, moving violation wise. It's always been like your license plate isn't in the right spot or your car's too loud, stuff like that, stupid stuff. We were coming back. They were showing a special at this movie theater for, what movie was it? It was 2 Dragon Ball Z movies. A bunch of guys from work invited me to go out with them, so I went. I had my buddy Jeremy with me, riding passenger. When we left, I'm in the furthest lane. There's only 2 lanes. Let's just say there's a northbound and a southbound, okay? So cars going this way, cars going this way. And so I'm heading north. I'm in the furthest lane from the curb. Off to the right, and I noticed it, but just because it's another car. You don't think anything's gonna happen of it. But off to the right, I noticed a Honda, I wanna say a CRV. Yeah, it was the smaller SUV, a Honda CRV. Creeping by me slowly in the right lane, and I'm off in the left lane. Well, as that car was going, and the roads were wet, it had just rained, I noticed that we were coming up to a light. It was a green light, but there were cars stopped. Don't know why these cars were stopped. I don't know if there's a special turning lane up there or something, or that slower lane turned into something, I forget. But those cars were stopped at the green light to take a right. And when I noticed that those cars were stopped, I said in my head to myself, yeah, she's either gonna, she's really gonna have to slow down, to not hit those cars. But the very moment I thought that, we were already on top of them. Lady, off in the CRV, decides to hop over in my lane, but it's already way too late. She hits the car in front of her and then bounces out into my lane. Comes out into my lane. She hits it was a white Nissan Juke. So the CRV hit the Nissan Juke in its driver rear, so it's left side rear. Bounced out in front of me, so I ended up hitting her with my passenger front in her driver rear. So here's the car that was stopped. Lady comes up, hits it like this here, and I'm out here, so she comes out this way, and I hit her like this. Then she ends up being pushed like this. The car's kind of went into a perfect T shape, and I pushed her across the intersection. Her car probably landed 15, 20 feet, further than mine once my car stopped. And I just sat there and freaked out for a second. I just couldn't believe that just happened. I was in a split second. The moment I was she's gonna have to do some, insane shit to stop right there. Boop, it had already happened. The moment I recognized that there was an issue there, it was too late. I didn't have any time to avoid it or anything. And like I said, the roads were wet. And also there's incoming traffic. So the last thing you wanna do to avoid an accident, especially when cars are moving with you, is to go off into the opposing lanes. So I definitely wasn't gonna do that. But it doesn't matter anyway, because like I said, it was too late for me to react properly. And hit her. Sat in the car for, I don't even know, I probably just a few seconds, just freaking out. A lot of curse words were involved. I get out, go over to her. She's in the middle of the road, in the middle of the intersection, trying to move her car. I'm okay, well, are you okay? She said, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm perfectly fine. Are you okay? I was yeah, no, I'm good. So I went over to go check on the cars that were stopped in that lane, because I thought that both cars had originally gotten hit. But it was just the one, in the rear. Checked on them, they were fine, and I'm okay, now I'm gonna go check on my car, because I didn't even really pay it any attention. I tried to move it and it didn't move. I was okay, well let me go see. I go over to go look at my car, and I was like, okay, well, it doesn't look that bad, you know? But at the same time, it was in the dark, and I guess like adrenaline was pumping through me or something, so I was just like, all right, so I'm just like skimming over it very quickly. I wasn't sitting there like analyzing everything. I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't look that bad. I look at my one wheel, and it's turned at like, maybe I want to say like an 80-degree angle. That wheel that got hit. And I'm like, no, like my wheels, they don't turn that far. So I go to the other side, and the wheel's facing the total opposite direction. So my wheels are like this, both pointing in opposite directions. They're supposed to be, you know, pointing in the same general direction all the time. Well, they were like this. So I was like, okay, well, that's gonna be an issue. Car definitely can't move now. Yeah, it sucked pretty bad, because I had a lot of, like within the next month, I had like 6-7 videos lined up. Like I was just gonna be pumping them out. And all that has been put on the back burner just so I can make the car drivable again. Because you know, I went ahead from the get-go, I told these people, like, I don't care what condition the car is in, I want to buy the car back. Because what happens is, once they total out your vehicle, I'm not too sure how it happens in every single situation, but for my situation, it was not my fault. Lady came out in front of me, hit a car, hit me. They paid me out for my vehicle. They gave me a check for what the vehicle's worth. So my main thing was like, please let me buy this car back. You know, I didn't know if it was going to be, you know, an option or anything. I'd heard stories before, you know, people that I know, people that they knew, you know, not anybody that I know immediate, them being able to buy back their totaled vehicles. Well, yeah, so I was very adamant about that. Like, please let me buy back this car. Like, I need this car. I spent way too much time, way too much money on this vehicle for one area of it to be messed up. Now I understand, like, if I had gotten hit directly in the front and then directly in the rear, or something to do with like one of the quarter panels, where it's just like a totally different world to like, you know, repair on my own, that I think I just would have taken the money and just left the car, because that's way too much. But I had just gotten like, I just finished my sound system a few months ago. The wrap for the front bumper, I don't think I made a video about me actually wrapping the front bumper part, but that was by far the worst part to wrap. That took forever. And it looked really good. You know, the car was just about to be finished, and then like I was just gonna be adding on extra stuff. You know, I'd flared it out. I got the wheel spacers, the aftermarket brake kits. I had all this extra stuff going on. I just got these headlights. I just put this in maybe like 5 months ago. That video's up there. That video didn't sit for very long. I probably had that video in my queue for like a week before I finally uploaded it, finished it, and, you know, sent it out to YouTube. But I just got my exhaust, like I said. You know, it sounds terrible because it is all raw pipe, and that's how I bought it. And I bought it like that so I could custom, you know, put in my own resonators and mufflers and cats and stuff like that, instead of going, and it was actually a lot cheaper to go and do that than to go and buy like a full set all the way back. And this one I could make my own, which I did. My own exhaust pipes, which are these neochrome, blue neochrome, you know, exhaust, did I say exhaust pipes? My my dual tip exhaust tips, my dual exhaust tips, there we go. I had those welded on, had the whole exhaust welded on. I just got that wing back there. This company, this really nice company, you guys know, I do these review videos, and a lot of these companies just send me out free stuff to do review videos on, and I get to keep the stuff. You know, which is really cool. It's awesome. That's like the greatest part about doing, that's the second greatest part about doing YouTube. But they had just sent me out these LED reverse lights to use, and they sent me out like 6 or 7 pairs. They sent me out 6 or 7 pairs, and obviously I only need one. You know, I was gonna keep one, put it on the car, and I was gonna keep another pair, give it to my nephew for his WRX. And after that, I really don't know anybody that you know, would be able to enjoy them. You know, so I was just gonna hold on to them, you know, possibly give them away, you know, to you guys. But yeah, all that's been put on the back burner right now. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you exactly what the damage was. I want to say I am happy that the car's back. Like, that was just, I needed to do that. I am very happy, even though I can't use it, and it's just gonna sit here for at least another 2 weeks. Probably. Sorry if I'm looking down. That's where the car is. I'm looking at the car. I'm just gonna show it to you now. Alright, so first off, you see the absolute tiny amount of room I have for the car. Here's the sticker and everything because the car, you know, was at a lot. I was happy they gave me the word that nobody's gonna be picking the car apart, because that was a major thing of mine. I was like, please don't let anybody, I fully plan on buying this car back. Do not let anybody pick it apart, you know, until I have that opportunity. And, you know, she was like, no, you know, no one's gonna be touching it. You know, we need like your permission to do that. So I was very happy to see everything the way that I had left it. Like nothing was missing at all. I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, but brace yourselves. Bam. Look at that. As you can see, this fender flare needs to be replaced. The wheel is fine. The wheel and tire are fine, which I was really surprised. Like you can see, it's not flat or anything. It still holds its air. The fender is so messed up. It goes up into the hood. You see up there, the hood's bent, and it goes over and rides over the drip rail right there, where the A-pillar is, and then over the door. So I'm probably gonna have to replace the wrap on the door and the A-pillar, which is trash, because the A-pillar is one giant piece of vinyl that goes all the way down back through the quarter back there. So that's gonna take me a long time. Good thing I've already done it though. But in here, this is those headlights, those LED headlights that I had just gotten. Okay, my fog light got smashed through. This whole entire, like, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Obviously the front bumper's gone right here, you know, it's just gone. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to fabricate some type of brace, because you see this right here. This is what holds this is where the headlight bracket starts. See the plastic piece? That's a headlight bracket. Okay, and it goes into this right here, which helps hold on the fender. So I'm not too sure how I'm gonna do that, but I'm definitely gonna make it work somehow. This wheel is facing this way, kind of off to the right towards me, and the other way, my bad, and the other wheel is facing towards that wall. But on this side, I'm almost certain that I found exactly what's wrong with it. The car's dead. I drove it in here and it died again. And it's messed up because I just replaced the alternator and the battery, but when they drove the car away, the headlights were on and all that stuff, so it probably sat for a few days, you know, before it finally, you know, just took a crap. But if I started it up, I drove it actually from over there. It was parked over there on the corner, all the way in here, backed it up, had my brother-in-law, you know, line me up, because when you're steering, because the wheels are facing opposite ways, it's more of a suggestion. You're not going wherever the hell you want, or wherever you think you're pointing the wheels. Again, because they're facing total opposite directions. But yeah, the absolute worst things are this baffle right here / apron that's been pushed in. This whole area, I'm not too sure how I'm gonna be able to make another bracket. Right there, the actual bumper, like the bumper rail right there, that needs to be replaced. You see that's smashed in, but the frame rail itself is perfectly fine right there. Let me see if I can get you guys in here. I actually went and bent this stuff up. That way when I wasn't backing it up in here, I wasn't scraping along the wheel anymore. Let me see if I can get you with some stuff here inside so I can show you all that I think is wrong. All right, so I went ahead and moved the wheel so I can show you what I'm talking about. So, get on the ground here. You can actually, nope. See that right there? That's fresh metal. So I think this fork hit that, okay, and knocked my outer tie rod, you know, into this W shape, because it comes this way towards the camera and then it goes back out. When it's supposed to be almost straight with a little tiny bit of a turn. So I think that's why, you know, the whole entire thing is messed up as far as, you know, steering. And that's all that I really see down here. My function form type 2s, it seems to be okay. I mean, sure as hell isn't brand new anymore, but you know, it seems to be fine. The car isn't sitting on the ground. Like I said, I drove it in here. It wasn't pretty driving it in here, but I drove it in. Nothing else in there is messed up. car wasn't leaking oil or transmission fluid. Like, all this stuff is all superficial. This is for the pump here, you know. I don't know what the hell that is. That's like the top of it. I'm not too sure what that is. There's just a little dent in the windshield washer reservoir. Some type of sensor here, which I never noticed before, but, you know, like I said, this part right here, this part of the frame is all smashed in, but it's all really thin. Hear that knocking? It's all really thin, so I think I'm just gonna be able to, you know, like smack that back out. Here, let me pop the hood for you. Right here, everything's fine. It's all good. In here, you know, it's bowed in a little bit. Nothing's rubbing on any of these things. The bracket that holds my windshield washer, my bad, the power steering fluid right here got knocked loose. This is part of the headlight that came all the way through here. You know, nothing too serious. This is power steering line. I'm pretty sure our AC line, let me see down. Yep, that's an AC line. That bracket's been knocked loose. Like, all this stuff just needs to be, pretty much anything important needs to be disconnected from there. It needs to be smacked, this whole baffle slash apron needs to be smacked back out that way. Like, see how it's all coming in here? You see how in there it's like a deep recess? But other than that, like, the whole front is perfectly fine. The front bumper is gonna need to be replaced. My lip is gone. Never see that again. It was actually funny because like the lip like fell apart to 1,000 pieces, and like people were driving over them and like carrying them away with them. Also, for these DNA LED headlights here, let me see this. You see this thing right here? This is that bar. Let me show you this side. It runs along the bottom here and it lights up really pretty. After the accident, because I know a lot of people were talking about how like with my DNA, you know, whole entire install with these, the headlights, they're talking about how a lot of the reviews say that that LED light, you know, stops working after a while. This whole entire side, as you can see, is just obliterated. Like, this is in pieces. All these lights, like, look at this, okay? The only light to survive was the LED bar from that headlight housing. That's it. If I turn the car on, that light still, you know, that whole entire light strip turns on. That's the only part. So, good on them. And if you're buying those, I don't think you're ever gonna have a problem. Look at this, look at the angle of this wheel. I turn the wheel. But everything in fine looks fine. And because of how the transmission's set up, I'm almost positive that if I tried to drive it and the axle wasn't connected to the wheel, the car wouldn't move at all. Because the car's constantly trying to send the power to the wheel with the less amount of traction. So if your axle isn't connected, the car don't know the axle's not connected to the damn wheel, so it's just gonna keep trying to spin that axle. But since it moved, that tells me that the axle's still connected, still perfectly fine inside this hub, and inside the motor on this side. Transmission's on the other side. You know, so I don't have to worry about that. And again, the car isn't sitting on the ground, so the lower control arm, I'd say, is fine. You know, but yeah, the biggest, most difficult part is going to be fabricating braces and everything, because those thinner pieces of metal, I feel like when I start to bend them, that they're just going to pop off and break. Obviously, as you can see, a lot of this metal is like torn up and all that. I guess I could, you know, try to find like a junkyard, you know, 7th gen Accord that was like smashed in the rear or something and use its front. But I don't know, we're going to have to see about that, because that's just stuff I'm going to worry about getting the car back on the road immediately first. So that part in there, if that's the reason why the car doesn't drive straight, the outer tie rod there, I think that's like a $13, maybe $15 part for this car. Like, of course, I'm going to put that in. It's probably going to take me like an hour. That's nothing, okay? Take the car to go get, I'm a mechanic, so I can take the car, you know, to my job, you know, and put it up on the lift and see a little bit further. Obviously, right now, because the car don't move, it has to stay here. But once I can get it moving, I'll do that. I've got crap tons of extra headlight assemblies for this. You know, you see this bar here? Every set comes with its own bar of that, so at least I know that will be able to stay in there. You know, and then I'll be able to like really be able to tell exactly what, once I take all this off and I start banging on it, then I'll know exactly the full extent. Once I have this off and that headlight out. The front bumper is like $70 at like Certifit. That's nothing. You know, the biggest pain in the ass about the front bumper is that I'm gonna have to rewrap it, which took forever. That was the hardest part about wrapping this whole entire car. And I did all the wrapping on this car myself. But yeah, this wheel was trash anyway. But the car needs an alignment because my wheels aren't like really like cambered. So I think they're just, you know, the toe is messed up. Definitely not a camber issue. Because I've had cars with a lot more camber than this, and the tires weren't wearing this fast. So, yeah. Why is it so bright? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's it. That's the car. And that's what happened, you know, with the car and what happened to the car. Another really funny thing is, and I have no problem with anybody from any race, your sex, like anything like that. But the lady that hit me and the other lady was an Asian lady. And the lady that she hit was an Asian lady. And at the very end, me and my buddy Jeremy, we're standing there. The lady that, you know, caused the accident, she had been gone, you know, with her husband and all that. Well, we're still waiting. Me and the other Asian lady and my friend Jeremy were standing there waiting for our rides to come get us. And I go over to, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, how you doing? Like, are you okay? You know, stuff like that. And she says to me, the little Asian lady says to me, she was like, was she Asian? And I was like, whoa. Me and Jeremy both looked at each other like, how do we answer this question? Because it's an Asian lady asking somebody else's lady. And I was just like, yeah. She was like, I knew it. She's like, I could tell. She's like, I never saw her. And I was like, she never came over here to come talk to you? And she's like, no. She's like, but I could tell that she was Asian too. And I was like, so I thought that was really funny. That she could, I don't know, detect that the lady that caused this massive accident who was an Asian lady as well. I don't know, I just thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, that's what's going on with the car. I'll probably have it out of the garage at least, you know, back at my place within probably next weekend. I'm thinking I'll go ahead, put some wrench time in on it just to get it moving, drive it out to my place, and then worry about the body work out there. Or maybe, you know, just be driving around because I work so close to my house, so probably take it to work, and in my free time, drive it back over here, you know, work on it little bit by bit. But yeah, hopefully within the next month, it'll be like it never happened. I'm hoping. So with that, I got a bunch of stuff coming up. With the trunk, I was gonna be doing, all right, I'm just gonna tell you guys a bunch of things that I plan on doing with the car. I was gonna be doing one of those LED light kits all the way around the floor of the vehicle. That's one. I was planning on, you know, finding some type of airlift suspension. Airlift does not make, with my research, they do not make a lift suspension straight from Airlift for the 7th gen Accord. It literally just skips over it. It goes 6th, 8th. So I was like, what the hell? So I gotta find something there. I might get a bunch of pieces together and make my own custom one. So that was another thing, Airlift, because I'm tired of scraping. Tired of it, absolutely tired, especially with the new exhaust that I've got on there. 3, I was gonna be doing, you know, earlier I was telling you guys about my raw pipe setup for the exhaust all the way through. So I'm gonna be putting in, you know, and finding pieces to still make it sound good and all stuff like that. That was gonna be another one. 4, I was gonna be getting and making my own box because I have two 12-inch Sonys, two 12-inch Pioneers in the rear. I'm gonna be redoing those, getting new speakers, making my own box. I was gonna be doing that. That's 4. And the 5th one was I was gonna be getting making my own and wood burning the channel name into it, my own trunk floor. So I had a bunch of stuff planned for this car. I've been pumping out videos, you know, a lot more, you know, consistently lately, and it's a shame, you know, that this, you know, had to happen right now, you know, with terrible timing. But yeah, a few $100s and you know, some time and energy, I'll be able to get it right back on the road. I'm happy that I bought it back, definitely. You know, it was way too much. I've done way too much to this vehicle. Just let it go. Absolutely not. That wasn't like, it didn't matter if the car ran or not. I still wanted the car, at least to sit, and I would have parted it away at my own discretion, not just have a bunch of people. Oh, I couldn't imagine you spending so much time and money on a vehicle. It gets totaled, it goes to a yard, and then a bunch of people just come through and just pick it apart. I don't know, that it doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, guys, that's the story. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the channel. I think we're like maybe 50 subscribers away from hitting 1900, which is awesome. So yeah, hopefully good things keep happening. Not this type of good things, but you know, other good things. And you know, I hope everyone, please stay safe out there. You know, pay attention to what you're doing. You know, don't be on your phone when you're driving, stuff like that. And you know, I've never been afraid to drive. I've never been a defensive driver or anything like that. But like, definitely since this, like, I am weary, I guess that's the word, of every single car that comes up next to me when I'm driving now. Which is a shame, because, you know, driving for me is, you know, a fun thing, even if I'm just commuting. You know, I enjoy my car, I enjoy the commute, I enjoy putting my music on, listening to the car, all these different things. And because of other people making massive mistakes, it takes the fun out of, you know, driving for other people. So I kind of have like a little tiny bit of like PTSD there when it comes to driving near other cars. But I'll get over it, I'm sure I will. But yeah, again, thanks for checking out the channel. You know, check me out on Instagram. I'll leave my link down in the description below. But yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, next week I'm going to be sending out all those parts. There's actually quite a bit of you that wanted those parts that I offered out in my second to last video. But, you know, since all this stuff, you know, that's all been postponed. So I'll probably be taking care of that next weekend. Or this upcoming weekend. I'll probably upload this video sometime this week. I think that today's the 18th. So, yeah, so the weekend of the 18th, I'll be sending out stuff. I'll start sending it out. You'll know who you are. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thank you. I keep doing this. I keep trying to say goodbye, but then I keep talking. I have an issue with that. But yeah, thanks a lot to everybody who, when I first uploaded the pictures of the car and all that stuff, you know, who were, you know, DMing me and, you know, private messaging me and, you know, making sure that I was okay and stuff like that. That actually meant a lot to me. That was pretty cool. Because even though we're all strangers, we all have a common, you know, thing going on, which is cars. And I had people with Porsches, Hondas, Mustangs. They recognize that you're a fellow car guy and that they might not agree with what you did to your car or what you drive, but we all have the same exact passion, which is really cool and taught me something about the car community. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Please be safe.